Tanzania. The name evokes images of breathtaking beauty. Kilimanjaro's snow-capped peak, the endless plains of the Serengeti, the turquoise waters of Zanzibar. A nation of 68.56 million people, blessed with natural wonders and known across East Africa as an island of peace and stability. While its neighbors Kenya, Uganda, Rwanda have experienced coups, civil wars, and ethnic violence, Tanzania has remained remarkably calm since gaining independence in 1961. No major political upheavals, no civil war, just steady, peaceful progress, or so it appears. But beneath this tranquil surface lies a disturbing reality. A story of one-party domination spanning 6 decades, of disappearing critics, of elections without choice, of a government systematically dismantling the space for dissent. This is the story of how Tanzania, once hailed as Africa's peaceful democracy, is slowly becoming the North Korea of East Africa. To understand Tanzania today, we must go back to 1961. When Tanganyika gained independence from Britain, it was led by Julius Nyerere, a charismatic teacher known as Mwalimu. His party, TANU, swept to power on a wave of anti-colonial sentiment. In 1964, Tanganyika merged with the island of Zanzibar to form Tanzania. In 1977, TANU merged with Zanzibar's ruling party to create Chama cha Mapinduzi, the CCM, or Party of the Revolution. Here's what most people don't realize. The CCM and its predecessor have ruled Tanzania without interruption for 64 years. That makes it the longest ruling party in Africa. Longer than South Africa's ANC. Longer than Zimbabwe's ZANU-PF. From 1977 to 1992, Tanzania was officially a one-party state. No opposition was allowed. None. In 1992, facing international pressure, Tanzania introduced multi-party democracy. Opposition parties could finally register. Elections would be contested. Democracy had arrived. Or had it? Since 1992, Tanzania has held 7 multi-party elections. The CCM has won every single one. Not just one. Dominated. In 2020, the CCM's John Magufuli claimed 84% of the vote. In a free and fair election? Unlikely. The party's grip extends everywhere, from village committees to parliament, from youth wings to labor unions. The CCM has built a political machine that presents itself as inseparable from the Tanzanian state itself. Many Tanzanians cannot imagine their country without CCM rule. That's not democracy, that's hegemony. Where there is unchecked power, corruption follows. And in Tanzania, corruption has become systemic. The numbers tell a grim story. On Transparency International's 2024 Corruption Perceptions Index, Tanzania scored just 41 out of 100. Government procurement, taxation, customs, and land administration are all riddled with graft. In 2014, a massive scandal erupted, involving the illegal payment of $122 million to businessmen disguised as energy contracts. 12 international donors suspended aid. Senior officials were implicated, but few faced real consequences. In 2015, investigators uncovered that over half of funds meant to be held in escrow during a power plant dispute had been improperly paid out through bribes to public officials. The Comptroller and Auditor General's reports consistently document massive misuse of public resources. In one report, the Director of Public Prosecutions failed to collect $71 million in compensation from corruption cases. Infrastructure projects proceed without competitive bidding. Revenue mysteriously disappears. And yet, prosecutions remain rare. When they do occur, they often target mid-level officials, while those at the top remain untouchable. Why? Because in Tanzania, political loyalty matters more than the rule of law. The CCM doesn't just rule Tanzania, it owns it. The lines between party and state have blurred completely. Government resources are party resources. Public appointments are party appointments. To challenge this system is to challenge everything. If there's one figure who transformed Tanzania from a benign hegemon into an authoritarian state, it's John Magufuli, the bulldozer. When Magufuli became president in 2015, he promised to crush corruption and modernize Tanzania. At first, he was celebrated. He fired corrupt officials. He made unannounced inspections. He cut wasteful spending. But the bulldozer didn't stop there. He turned his machinery against democracy itself. Opposition rallies were banned. Media outlets were shut down. Critical journalists were arrested. In 2017, opposition leader Tundu Lissu was shot 17 times in an assassination attempt. He survived barely and fled the country. The 2020 election was a sham. Internet was restricted. Opposition candidates faced constant harassment. Magufuli won with 84% of the vote. International observers called it neither free nor fair. Then came COVID-19. While the world locked down, Magufuli declared Tanzania COVID-free through prayer. He banned discussion of the pandemic. Health workers were silenced. Statistics were hidden. People died in secret. In March 2021, Magufuli himself died, many believe, from COVID-19. His vice president, Samia Suluhu Hassan, became Tanzania's first female president. There was hope. Maybe Hassan would be different. Maybe she would restore freedoms. She wasn't. She hasn't. Under President Hassan, the repression has only intensified. What began under Magufuli has become systematic, calculated, and terrifying. Since 2019, over 200 cases of enforced disappearance have been documented in Tanzania. Opposition figures, activists, journalists, critics, they vanish in broad daylight. In September 2024, Ali Mohammed Kibao, a senior official of the opposition Chadema party, was abducted. Days later, his body was found bearing signs of torture. Police claimed he had acid poured on him by unknown assailants. No one believed him. In January 2025, Maria Sarungitsehai, a prominent journalist and government critic, was abducted in Nairobi, Kenya. Yes, Kenya. Tanzania's security forces operate beyond their borders now. She was blindfolded, handcuffed, interrogated, and eventually escaped the abduction. In May 2025, two more activists, Kenyan Boniface Mwangi and Ugandan Agatha Atuhaire, were seized while attending a trial in Tanzania. They were tortured. Atuhaire was sexually assaulted. Both were eventually deported. The list grows longer. Abdul Nando, youth leader of ACT Wazalendo, kidnapped in broad daylight at a bus terminal in Dar es Salaam. Edgar Mwakalebela, tortured and shot, left abandoned in a national park. Bishop Benson Baganza and other clergy, fleeing the country after death threats. The United Nations Human Rights Council has condemned Tanzania. Amnesty International has issued urgent alerts. Human Rights Watch has documented systematic abuse. The African Commission on Human and People's Rights has expressed alarm. Tanzania's government denies everything. They blame fake news. They claim victims staged their own kidnappings. They threaten to prosecute anyone using VPNs to access blocked websites. This is what authoritarianism looks like. Which brings us to the 29th of October 2025. Election Day in Tanzania. Except it wasn't really an election. The main opposition party, Chadema, was barred from participating. Their leader, Tundu Lissu, was arrested in April on treason charges for calling for electoral reforms. He faces the death penalty. The second largest opposition party's candidate was also disqualified. President Hassan faced no credible challenger. On election day itself, Tanzania imposed a nationwide internet blackout. Social media platforms went dark. WhatsApp stopped working. News websites became inaccessible. The world was shut out. Protests erupted in Dar es Salaam. Police opened fire. People were killed. A 6 p.m. curfew was imposed. Western embassies told their citizens to shelter in place. Major transport operators had canceled all buses and ferries, the first time in Tanzania's history this had happened during an election. The message was clear: stay home, stay silent, stay afraid. This wasn't an election, it was a coronation. The CCM will continue its 64-year rule, and Tanzania will sink deeper into authoritarian darkness. One-party rule since independence, no real political opposition, state control of media, cult of personality around leaders, systematic repression of dissent, cross-border abductions of critics, information blackouts, show elections. Tanzania isn't North Korea, not yet. Its citizens aren't starving. Its economy functions. You can still leave the country, if you're lucky. But the trajectory is unmistakable. With each disappeared activist, each banned opposition party, each internet shutdown, Tanzania moves further from democracy and closer to totalitarianism. The international community watches but does little. The African Union stays silent. The East African community turns a blind eye. Tanzania's beauty remains its perfect camouflage. So when you see those stunning photos of Mount Kilimanjaro or the Serengeti, remember, paradise can hide a prison, smiles can mask fear, and peace can be enforced at the barrel of a gun. Tanzania was supposed to be different. It was supposed to be Africa's success story, stable, peaceful, democratic. Instead, it's becoming a cautionary tale of how democracy dies not with a bang, but with a slow, systematic suffocation. This is Tanzania today, beautiful, tragic, and slipping into darkness. The question is, will anyone stop it?